Hello and welcome to another tarot unboxing. Today we have Tarot Landscapes, edited by Francesca Mattioni, illustrations by Yoshi Mari. Okay, a little look at the other sides of the box. On the back here, it says, every tarot card opens the door to a whole world, inviting the reader in. What does the hermit see from his nocturnal summit? Who awaits the star on the riverbanks, hidden in the bushes? We won't just be looking at the individual tarot cards in this deck. We will be entering the very landscapes they evoke or inhabit. A journey of the soul, visiting through the dream state and the imagination of every arcana and universe of the four suits. Travel through their landscapes, which have more to do with our everyday lives than we could possibly imagine. The box itself is very thick and sturdy, so very good to store the deck in if you choose to store yours in the boxes. First we have a little booklet. It's very thick. And this is just the same info. That's the exact same that's on the back of the box. There's a lot of information about how the deck is structured, because this isn't a typical standard deck. It's definitely going to be for a more advanced person. Not necessarily more advanced, just probably not best first deck to start out with, given that the imagery isn't the typical imagery that we see. And in the back, there's a section on reading and interpreting, and I think there are some spreads as well. Yeah. Specific to the deck and general. So that's the book. So then, inside the box, left we have the deck itself, which is actually, doesn't want to come out. In another box. So if you did want to use this to store something else, you could, and just keep the deck in this little box, but then you do have the booklet left over, which is quite thick. And you're definitely going to need this to help learn. You could just do pure intuitiveness and your own knowledge of what the cards are, because they're all labeled in traditional Rider-Waite style. But as you can see here, just from a quick overview, the imagery is not even close. So let's do a flip through of these. And I'll be interspersing some footage, which you've probably already seen a little bit of from outside, because I like to get like to do that with my unboxing of tarots. It's just funner that way. So let's get through these. I'm just going to do half and then the other half. So now that we've seen all the cards, I'll show you the back. It's pretty simple, just like tree, almost like trees, or like the dandelion poofs that you get on a light blue, teal-esque colored background, and two-tone, light and dark. The cards themselves are quite thick, so they'll hold up on you. The deck itself is, you can tell that the cardstock is a little thicker based on how thick the actual deck is. It's not hard to handle. So, not too thick. Good size, I would say. So let's pick a card and we'll see a few instances of what the book says so you can kind of get a feel for that. So we've got the King of Swords. A condor is perched atop a peak of rugged rock, the nest from which he contemplates the surrounding place. The bird has a long life, allowing him to sharpen his view on the matters of the world. In him you can recognize the King of Swords, a proud and just strategist, the figure in whom power unites with integrity of thought and the wisdom that comes from having known well the many forms of existence. Rock and sky mix to forge his intellect. With him at your side, ideas feed on truth. And then it gives you, if you get it upwards or reversed. So positive, it says integrity and authority, and the negative is a thirst for power or inhumanity. Just give you an upper close look at that. The imagery on these is really beautiful. It is kind of watercolor sharpness, if that makes sense. So the images themselves are a little fuzzy, as though they were painted with watercolor. So not sharp. Okay, let's see. One more. Let's do... pulling that one, so that's the next one we're going to do then. The Page of Cups. A butterfly fish swims in the depths of a coral reef, surrounded by colors and stillness, away from the hustle and bustle of the earthly world. It swims thoughtlessly, free to roam at will in a marine dream. It's ready for surprises. In the landscape of the Page of Cups, you can immerse yourself in the most ancient ideals, in the unreserved faith that you have cherished since early childhood. You can play with your inner child and welcome the sensitivity that still lives on in you, fostering an intuitive approach to the world and all that is new, except the amazement. So for this, the positive is sensitivity and inner child, and then the reversed would be vulnerability and escape from reality. We'll do one more. The Hierophant. Two chickadees sing and flit around a large oak tree that dominates the scene from a hill. The trunk is vast, and a strange little door could open a path to new hidden worlds. This is a sacred place to climb to, leaving the city and fog behind, reconnecting with the same spontaneity as a little spring bird to the fundamental teachings of life, encountering others, embracing family traditions, and discovering others, taking root. In the landscape of the Hierophant, you are in the arms of the most authentic masters who can teach you how you are connected to each and every element of life, even when you speak different languages. Learning does not mean blindly obeying, but rather touching the limits of all knowledge, taking to heart what is handed down to you without judgment and with care, and finally lifting your roots to walk onward, beyond the human, the tree, the animal, and toward brother or sister. In the positive, it is blessing and sharing knowledge. And in the reverse, it is bigotry, and spiritual crisis. Okay. So, what do you think? It's definitely a really interesting deck, and it's my first one that's not a like standard Rider-Waite style. I mean, it is still in the Rider-Waite, you know, the same labeling, the same structure, but just completely different imagery. So I'm excited to move on to this eventually once I feel like I found my footing. It might be a little while. This card is really beautiful. The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, so I'm just excited. I'm excited to have it in my collection, even if I don't feel confident enough to be able to move on to something like this yet. So let me know what you think. I hope I was able to give you a look enough so you can see if this is something you might want to pick up. Thanks for joining me here for this. A couple more coming in the future. So I went a little bit crazy on decks lately. I got a little excited and kind of bought a whole bunch of them. So there'll be one or two more of these coming out for different decks. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.